I recently had a friend tell me this show is too woke for him. I don't know what to say. I really enjoyed it and seemed like critics did too. So if you're not down to hear me gush about another Marvel project, you can bounce on out of here. Oh, but don't forget to like and subscribe. What's going on YouTube? My name is Jay Lee and I like a lot of stuff. Today I'm talking about Marvel's latest hot button project, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I don't remember the last time a superhero TV show spurred this much vitriol from the masses. Oh wait, I do remember. But that show had a lot of things going against it on top of not being a very good TV show. At least with She-Hulk, they're having fun. It's Marvel's first true sitcom, and although it's not setting the bar for comedy writing, it's still lovely to be in the Marvel world in a refreshing new way. And it absolutely is the MCU we know and love, it's just showing us a very, very different side of it. One that has legal counsel for D-list superheroes and where a relative of an old green friend is the one defending them. It was really smart to kick off the series with Bruce Banner in tow, not just to establish the origin, but to ease the audience in and introduce Jennifer Walters. I loved that first episode. I love the chemistry between Tatiana Maslany and Mark Ruffalo, and I really love that after the Hulk parts, it establishes itself as her story. And she's super charming and very likable, much like Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, which almost goes without saying because the studio's always been spot on with casting choices. Now there's also plenty of additional Marvel muscle who get featured to beef up the wow factor, but the show is most intriguing when we get to see the duality of life as She-Hulk versus the Jennifer Walters experience in the modern world. Sure, it's woke if you want to call it that, but I'm not so naive to think that these aren't messages that shouldn't be expressed en masse. So I'm not mad at it. Where the show does lose points for me is with some of the low stakes conflicts resulting in anticlimactic or even absurd Jen/She-Hulk decisions. There were a few instances where I was watching whatever case or baddie of the week situation that had run amok thinking, I'm not sure I'm liking this very much. And then, bam! The show turns it around with a hilarious line or an interaction that just had me gleefully laughing to myself. It really is the most fun I've had with any of the Disney Plus shows so far, so it saddens me that the internet's been trying its darndest to tear She-Hulk a new one. So, to address the elephant in the room, no, the CG on She-Hulk isn't perfect. It's not even great at times. But being a television show with a budget, with a timeline, there's gonna be shortcomings when there's only so much magic you can squeeze out of a VFX team that's on time crunches probably week to week. And doesn't the internet usually side with these poor artists in games and film anyways? The men and women who are dangerously overworked, grossly underappreciated, hell, probably even malnourished. What happened to the white knights who call for justice for all the individuals whose work is being put on blast by anyone with an online handle? I do want to note, by the last episode, they really nailed the CG on She-Hulk. Her being shown in different locations, under different lighting, interacting with people, it all got that polish that only time and probably lots of money can produce. I am aware that the malice for the show isn't entirely based around the visual effects. It just seems to be the first thing out of people's mouths when they go on an anti-She-Hulk tirade, which makes me sad because it kind of implies people aren't giving this show a fair shake. Am I going into these Marvel shows with rose-colored glasses? Yeah, a bit, but I'd much rather do that and enjoy my time with the show than waste my time crafting on every detail of it. Life's too short for excess negativity, and let's be real, there's enough of that in the world as it is. I've rewatched the first and 8th episode a few times now, and I'll probably continue to do that for the foreseeable future. The show does things a little differently in the beginning and a lot differently by the end of it. Clearly this has ruffled some feathers and gotten some people upset, but f it. The show itself was a joy to watch for me. It's lighthearted, it's self-aware, it's uniquely funny. I certainly enjoyed it much more than Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and Ms. Marvel. So to see its Rotten Tomatoes score be obliterated in comparison to those projects had me pretty bummed out. Yeah, there were 1 or 2 episodes there that felt like offshoots from the main story, but even those had consequences affecting the wider narrative enough to warrant their existence. The 8th episode and finale do help the show stick the landing, in my very humble and evidently contrarian level opinion. So my score gets bumped up in that final stretch. I do not care if I'm in the minority here. I'm giving She-Hulk Attorney at Law an 8 out of 10. It's gonna be interesting to see if She-Hulk makes the leap to an Avengers movie one day and what that does for her CG appearance. But we have some time before then, so come back soon to catch my thoughts on all the stuff I haven't talked about yet.